It's May 2nd, 2024. This is Rook. Welcome to episode 321 of Rook. I'm Jian Gomeshi. Hello to you from Toronto. Hello to you from Canada. Salam Dostan Aziz. Durud Ba Shoma. Hope you're doing well wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Hi, Smart Pegah.
Hello.
This episode is a feature interview with somebody who's beloved. I have discovered just by announcing that she's coming on. I mean, I knew that she was famous, but people love her.
Yes, they
people
do.
People love Nooshafarin.
Yes.
Nooshafarin, who's a singer, has had some big pop hits, was also an actress. Pre-revolution Iran. Kind of legendary at this point. And the interesting thing about her is, I think you probably, we haven't talked about this. I'm guessing... And I'm with you on this one.
Okay.
You are a Nooshafarin fan of her music.
I am.
And probably those hits that came out like in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Exactly.
Salam and all, you love that stuff.
And even before that, actually, funny story. One of the earliest memories I have of Persian New Year in Canada is this, and I can't remember which song it was exactly, but I actually remember the music video. It was like very white, and she was wearing a white floral dress. That's what I remember. And this image is like ingrained in my mind, my early childhood years of immigrating to Canada, and that being like the video we would watch on Persian satellite or video or whatever it was at the time. So it's very, very good memories of her music.
But here's a couple of observations, having researched her a little bit. And I'm so thrilled that not only is she here for a feature interview, she's in the Roqe Studio, where we're doing it in English, her first ever big interview in English. Couple things about her. First of all, she was a star before the Islamic Revolution of 1979 in Iran. She had just become a star and was actually kind of a movie star. She'd been in a number of movies and then also had started to make music and had a couple pop hits. The interesting thing is Noushafarin is not that old now, In other words, she was so young when this was happening. She was 16.
Wow.
And I think by the time of the revolution, she's like maybe 21 or something like that. So she has that pop hit when she's 18. She was a teenager. So she has a perspective of Iran from the perspective of a celebrity, of a well-known person before the Islamic Revolution in Tehran, And yet she's not the age of most of the people who have that perspective are icons, are the kind of people who are at this point octogenarians, are in their 80s, maybe they're in their 70s. Noushafarin is quite a bit south of that in terms of her age. And so she has this amazing perspective, And the second thing about her is it turns out she might be known for these pop hits and stuff, but she's very much khud sakhte. She's done this, she's carved her own path.
Right.
She's had a very difficult life in many ways, and we'll get into some of that in the interview. But she ended up in America, in LA, and refused to play the game. She's once you start to learn a little bit about her story, and I want to ask her about all of this, because never judge a book by its pop music cover. Not that the pop music isn't great, but this is a very serious, strong person whose story is about resilience, getting to where she's gotten now, and really calling her own tunes, often at the expense of what could have been a much bigger career. If you agree to play that game, the Iranian music industry for what it is, LA game, maybe you get more producers working with you or more sponsors or more, and she just wouldn't agree to be anyone other than herself. So, and of course there's when she was in this young movie star, there's the nude scenes, and then she's had such an interesting story. The years she's exiled in India. So you don't know about that?
I didn't know about that.
Well, when she leaves Iran, she kind of escapes basically not just Iran, but her husband,
Wow.
who refuses to give her a divorce. Her very famous husband, we'll get into that, ends up in India for a number of years, and then comes to North America. So
Interesting.
Nooshafarin feature interview here in the Rook Studio, a few moments away. Very much looking forward to this, and I've had the chance to meet her now a couple of times, and she's just such a wonderful person. I have no doubt this is going to be a very warm and interesting interview. Rook Live
Yes.
is just a few days away. Rook Live
Can't believe
2,
we're almost there.
the sequel. It is next Tuesday. Now, for those of you who listen to our program around the world, we appreciate it. We're sorry that we're not coming just yet. Eventually we will. We're not coming to your town. This is in the Greater Toronto area in a place called Aurora. Aurora, Ontario is where Rook Live 2 will take place at Theatre Aurora. Just a few days away. I'm so looking forward to this. Yesterday,
So excited.
we had a team. What was that?
Volunteer team pizza and beer
gathering,
night.
pizza and beer night. By the way, you were one of the people. I said, "Oh, let's bring everybody together at the Roqe Studios and have a pizza and beer night." And you were like, "That's a great idea." Little did I know, you won't eat any pizza or beer.
I didn't.
In fact,
here we go.
I don't think anyone. Like I ordered, like.
I know. I
five
came
boxes
in and
of-
I saw there's like so much
Well,
beer.
because
I was
there
like,
20 people. I thought we needed a lot of pizzas and
Yeah.
stuff. So I ordered all this stuff, and then I don't. Yeah, see, you're not eating. There's a couple in Toronto who do this. They kind of check out the events of what's happening in Toronto, and they've got a new video series called Toronto Times.
Right.
I really like I really like the vibe they have. They're very enthusiastic. They're very positive, and they've just started doing this. And their names are Ebby and Bella, and they're going to be coming. They want to come and shoot Rook Live too, like
Yes.
just for their own channel and stuff, and promote it. And so they had asked, could they come and be part of this and interview me and stuff about Rook Live coming up. So they were here. They didn't eat any. And far be it from them to. I mean, they're like supermodels, so they won't eat anything. Right?
yeah.
No one. It was me and Bearded Omid.
No, the pizza
basically
the pizza
eating
went
and drinking
quickly.
everything.
The pizza went quickly. I think it was just
tell
a
that,
beer.
Tell that to me, who I took home like an entire.
Did you really?
Well, yeah, but there's so much pizza left.
I just saw
left over.
empty boxes, so I was like, okay,
No,
the
there
pizza
were no
went.
empty box. There was a lot of pizza left, and because people like you,
The one
you
time
enjoy watching others destroy
no.
their lives
Okay,
by eating all that pizza.
you
and beer.
you have me on the beer because
Did
first
did
of all,
Super
I
P,
don't
did
drink
you
beer.
eat pizza?
I did.
Okay, all right.
Did you have beer?
I did have beer.
Oh, okay.
See, there you
So
go.
it was me, Bearded Omid, and Super
And
P.
Super P.
And I think
No,
Methodical
I
Convent.
saw all of the volunteers
Actually,
having
that
pizza.
savvy Roham probably ate an entire large pizza himself. But other than us, the volunteers
The
were also,
volunteers had pizza.
"Khejalat mikeshidan," they weren't going to have any,
No, they had some pizza.
All right.
None of them had beer though. I did see that.
No.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was fun nonetheless. We had
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
time. Lots of
What
conversations.
would we have to? What kind of a party would we have to have for you to be able to participate? A hot water and lettuce or something?
Okay, see, here's the thing. First of all, even when I did drink, beer was never my choice of
Right.
of
Okay.
alcohol. So
Yeah.
that's the
No, I
first
said
thing.
hot water. Yeah.
Now it's a lot more hot water, but
Yeah.
on occasion I'll still have some champagne or something.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, I love it. I love it. No $7 bottle of beer for Pegah. Champagne. Any kind of champagne, we'll set you up next time.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Let this be a lesson to those who are listening to us from the less privileged parts of the.
I said
Yeah,
if and
wait,
when.
will you drink anything other than champagne, or is that the
Gin.
only thing?
No, I have
Oh,
gin.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
gin is my other.
How come this person who's always the person who's in the studio with me? At first, it was the fabulous Keon for years. Who they're always very people with very wealthy tastes that make me feel bad. That I don't really drink beer.
I didn't
Maybe
say
if
there's
you
anything
had
wrong with beer.
Moet Chandon, I would have maybe champagne next time. Yeah. So anyway, Rook
The
Live,
point was we had a
volunteer-
fantastic-
lovely. Yeah,
yes.
we got these. I love people who volunteer for
Mm-hmm.
Rook because they're doing it because they care about our mission and with the
Yes.
community, with the global Iranian identity, and if anybody else ever wants to volunteer, contact us. So we have this show coming up that is
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about. Now I should note and I did so on social media. We mentioned this a few days ago. One of the people who was going to be part of our lineup, Iraj Janati Atai, who was going to come in from London, England, unfortunately is not in the best of health. He's okay.
Yes.
We've been assured that he's okay, but he did not feel comfortable enough making the long trip from England to Canada. And so we're going to postpone him for another time. But otherwise, Babak Amini, the great Soli, who is not only, we've got something special planned with him, but also he's performing. He's actually performing something new that he's written.
Very excited
new poem
for that.
and a Sufi kind of song. We have Dr. K, maybe definitely up there with one of the most popular guests we've ever had on the show. Anytime we have Dr. K on, everything goes crazy.
Even the comments on just our posts about the upcoming Rook Live show,
people love him.
They really do.
They really love him, and for good reason. Kayvan Mihardi, he's done such important work as a doctor, both in the hospital in New York that he works in, but also from afar, helping Iranians in social media, etc. He also, if you follow Dr. K as I do, you see once in a while he busts out an electric guitar.
Yes, I've seen the videos.
Now, I just left him a message today. I was like, let's discuss what you're doing next week at the show, because I think you're going to be playing some songs. Wouldn't that be fun if he plays a song? That would be
so much fun.
Maybe we get Bob Ack to play with him. Or Bob Ack is playing with everybody. Because we've also now added someone to the lineup who we're very excited about.
Yes.
Also a former Rook guest, Sabah Zameni.
Yes.
Who I don't need to say much about her at this point. People in the Iranian community know her around the world. This remarkable voice she has. She's been very active since the uprising after the killing of Mahsa Amini. And so Sabah will be part of the show. And I think she's doing a song with Babak Amini, which is going to be very special. Najmit Hansaz, the fitness expert, the boxer. She'll be there. And special correspondent Jian, her daughter, the 6-year-old wonder, will also be part of these things. So all of that is happening, and we're going to have a very special roundtable with you, Smart Pegah,
I will be there.
And the fabulous
Kian.
I mean, will you survive without champagne, the two of you? And I think a couple of other surprise guests.
You know what? Maybe I'll just bring a bottle with me for Kian and I.
All of that is happening. Also, for the first time, and we announced this week in our social media, for the first time at this Rook Live, we are introducing, it will be the inaugural presentation of the Rook Media Icon Award, sponsored by Monrock. The Icon Award is for lifetime achievement. It's something that I hope will not only be meaningful, but will be meaningful for years to come in recognizing people in our global community who've been so important to in their contributions in whatever field and to our identity. So we will be handing out the first ever Rook Media Icon Award on Tuesday, May 7th at the Rook Live event at Theatre Aurora. And the designer of this award,
the incredible designer,
I just love his work. And everything sounds so hyperbolic with us. It's like incredible, awesome.
It's because
we love it,
we
but it's
really
true.
are so excited.
We love Nooshafarin, we love Soli, we love Sohail. So Sohail Bastami, who is Bastami,
I think.
Super
Bastami.
Bastami.
Yes.
Thank God we don't have to bring Kaveh in here to explain it. Sohail Bastami is an Iranian-Canadian sculptor. Young guy on the rise. Look out.
Very much so, yeah.
Look out. His work is remarkable. Look him up. You can actually, we posted a little video with he and I on our Instagram, I guess, and YouTube. So if you want to check that out and link to him, if you want to find his page, Sohail Bastami. He has designed the Rook Media Icon Award, and it's, first of all, the design is beautiful, but it's so powerful and symbolic. It is the conjunction, the sort of marriage of a human form with a mountain. So it's got power, it's got symbolism, Iranian symbolism, and I also feel like there's vulnerability there. It's a beautiful object, the sculpture that he's doing. And Sohail Bastami will be part of things as well on Tuesday night. It's like Coachella or something. Rook Live.
We've got quite the lineup.
Yeah. So very excited about all of that.
And fast approaching. I can't believe it. We're almost
Oh,
there.
and we should say limited tickets, but there are a few tickets available. get them immediately if you want to go before it's sold out. At eventbrite.ca, search for Rook, or go to our bio on our Instagram page at Rook Media. Just press the link. It links you directly to buy tickets there, or at our website, roqemedia.com. You can link to where to get tickets there as well. And things start at 7.
That's right.
Which, like, we should tell Iranians that it starts at 5.
And you really want to be there on time. I will just say that we have lots of great things planned. There's going to be an opportunity to have a drink, have some bites. We have a wonderful catering company who's helping us out. Thank you to Chic Peak. We've got, I love
Chic. Is that how you say it?
Chic Peak.
You say Chic Peak?
Yeah.
Not like Chick Peak?
No, I think it's Chic Peak. I think so.
But Chic doesn't have a K on it? The way they spell it?
Yeah.
Well, Chic doesn't have a K. If it's the French, it's like Chic, CHIC.
I think this is the Persian.
What's Chic in Persian?
Like fancy.
Oh, kheli chic.
Yeah.
That's a French word, dude.
Yeah, but it's Persianized.
Persian.
Definitely
We
Persianized.
have lots of French words.
Yes, thank you, Super P. The
As
only
the
thing she
accent
likes about being Iranian is that there's French words.
But yes, be sure to get there at early, actually, because there's lots to do, lots of opportunities to hang out, lots of great photo opportunities for sure, and
Okay, Nooshafarin is waiting to come in. Mu'atal nakonim.
Yes.
Mu'atal
Mu'atal.
Mu'atal. No?
You got it, yeah. That's correct.
ببین یه چیزایی میگم مثل همینطوری داره نگاه میکنه مثل چون که لچه کرمانشاهی داره. I don't know what that means.
Someone's just told you that once and you've just run with it. That's it.
I know. Let's just talk about a couple things that are happening. I don't want to do a long roundup because I don't want to keep Noushafarin waiting, but there's a couple of things that we have to mention, I feel, because, the world is just...
I'm exhausted from watching the news. I really am.
I think there really is. I think it's kind of like when peak uprising and executions and horrible things happened, Kian Pir Falak in Iran, and people were saying, don't manage how much you're scrolling. I think like it's another version of that right now.
Yeah.
Just to, you just don't you find yourself getting caught, and suddenly you realize for 2 hours you've just been watching videos of people yelling at each other.
Yeah.
And young people just screaming at each other, and it's like the world has turned into a screaming match, and that can't be productive for our brains and our souls and our spirits to just be consuming that in social media. I've long said, social media, the internet is a problem. The world has gone downhill. That's what Jonathan Haidt just put out that book saying that it was the iPhone 4. It was when people could take selfies. It was around 2010 that you see a turn where depression and anxiety rates start going up, and it intersects with particularly with the camera and cell phones and Instagram and TikTok and that type of thing. But I think I would date it back just a few years earlier. I just think the internet and social media in general, it has enabled so much toxicity, and for those who would create trouble, they can now find a community, and that community can find a universal audience in seconds. And so we're just pounded by this nonsense that's coming at us from different directions, right?
I mean, there's such a trend now to
not to take anything away from some of the serious stuff that people do care about, but we're not talking about kids dying in Iran or even Gaza. Now it's like who's yelling at who at UCLA.
Exactly. And pinpointing who. I was going to say there's now a trend, speaking of cell phone companies and things like that, there's a trend now to go completely the other way. Cell phone companies are now coming up with new models of phones that have less features. So they're taking away all of these things that over the years we've... The
argument was that the apps are the problem. It's the apps.
Well, that's the thing. So on these phones, you won't be able to have access to those things. It's like, it goes back to your like old Nokia, the one that just had Snake on it, and that's it.
So, okay. I have something to say about that, but about what's going on in the world with respect to Iran. Okay. But I can wait.
Okay.
Or do you want to say something about you with your
Well, really,
roundup?
really quickly, I just wanted to talk about two things, and only one of them is really a major point that I wanted to make. I really wanted to make sure that we talk about Nooshafarin, the 16-year-old protester who was killed back in September 2022 at the height of the Woman Life Freedom uprising. This Tuesday, BBC put out an independent investigation on what exactly happened to her. And for anyone who doesn't remember, she was a 16-year-old, went out amongst many other protesters one day, and she wasn't found until 9 days later when they found her body. And when her body was found,
and she was early in the uprising. Like she was one of the first faces and names we began to recognize after Mahsa Amini.
Yes. I believe she was killed at the end of September, if I'm not wrong. And so she went out one day, and 9 days later, her body was found. And at the time, the IRGC had said that, she had killed herself, and that's what had happened. There were some videos that came out of her mother and her aunt. There were some forced confessions and interviews and things like that. Now, fast forward to just Tuesday, BBC put out this independent investigation where they somehow got access to these highly confidential reports. Now, these reports were from the IRGC themselves, and it was a summary report from a hearing that was held by the IRGC. And so the details that came out of this were horrific. We often talk about so much has happened and we're no longer surprised. Despite knowing the worst of the IRGC, it was still horrific to see the details of how she was assaulted, murdered, and her body was dumped.
Yeah.
And I just thought we'd be remiss if we didn't remember her again and talk about what had happened with her.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, what can you possibly say? A lot of people were posting pictures of her and trying to resuscitate remembrances of these kids like her who are victims of the Islamic Republic regime.
Absolutely.
What was the other thing you wanted to say?
The other thing was actually, sad but comical. The Iranian Foreign Ministry announced today that they were actually going to impose sanctions against 5 entities and 7 individuals in the U.S. over their support for Israel. And I just wanted to,
haven't they been imposing sanctions on all of us for
this is the thing.
40 years? By the way, it's something I'm going to talk about, and that's the thing I want to talk about is some trolls who've been attacking me, but or people who disagree, whatever you want to call them, generously, people who disagree. But one of them was like, "When was the last time you were even in Iran to say things about Iran?" I was like, "That's the point, dude. I can't go to Iran. I'd be lucky if I just be put in jail, let alone killed." So we've all had sanctions against us for years. I like that they're sanctioning 5 people.
Yeah,
it's like most Iranians can't go back because you'll be killed at the airport.
Actually, on that same note, I think the Iranian Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian today put out a statement or something, or had a press conference of some sort, saying if anyone from outside of Iran wants to travel, we have a website now that you can search your name to see if you can come back to the country.
No way.
Yeah.
What do you mean if you can?
Well, or like what you'll be faced with, or something.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's so exciting.
There's some sort of like online.
What do we get, like graded or something?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but
you're a fail. And we trust these people, of course.
Of course, full trust.
Oh, come back, no
Please,
problem. Yeah. Reza Pahlavi, come on back. Green light. Yeah.
Yeah, until you step foot in the airport.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. I thought you would say
I was waiting for.
Oh.
Well, no, that was it. The sanctions was just a quick note about the sanctions and.
Okay, here's the only thing I'm going to say, which is not a positive thing. It's not there's no way I can kind of skew this or kind of spin this to be positive. What is happening in the world right now with specific regard to the Middle East? It's been kind of my hobby horse to say, in an alarmed way, to say people who don't know better are taking the words of the Islamic Republic regime and when they speak the nonsense because we know that the regime doesn't care about anybody, least of all its own people in Iran, but let alone Palestinian kids or whatever they're pretending to care about, but that activists in the West would somehow see the regime in Iran, this murderous regime that only a year or two ago, the entire world understood was a dangerous, murderous theocracy, that they would somehow see this regime as allies because they happen to be on the side of an anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian side. Without getting into the Middle Eastern conflict, what is very unbelievable to me is the role of validating and almost celebrating now these same mullahs who've been terrorizing Iranians for 45 years, that everyone of all stripes, I mean, it was the one thing that for the most part, that the left and right all understood is that, killing
bad news.
Killing young schoolgirls in Iran is not a good thing,
Right.
I have to say, this is just a personal anecdote. We've been doing the show for more than 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly before that, I was outspoken about Iran. You can find videos of me during the Green Movement and speaking to thousands of people talking about this regime and stuff. But definitely in the last 4 years, and definitely when the uprising happened, I've done all kinds of essays and talking about the murderous mullahs, the bullish regime, the dictatorship, the theocracy, all these things that I've said. And we've posted them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, once in a while, somebody doesn't like me, attacks me. Or
Right.
That's social media. That's the way it is. That's toxicity. Say what. That's the way of the world right now.
Right.
And
Comes with the territory. Yeah.
Whatever. They attack me for all kinds of reasons. Including my hair, like whatever.
Your beard.
My beard. But almost never was somebody responding to, say, an essay I would do about how this regime has oppressed and suppressed the Iranian people. Almost never would somebody respond or have perhaps the balls to respond in public and say, no, you got it wrong. The regime is right. And just in the last 2 weeks,
Wow.
on my social media, on the Rook social media, and DMs to me, have I received, I would say, I mean, it hasn't been like thousands, but, maybe a couple dozen.
Wow.
Like Jomhuri Islami flag, like fuck you, the Islamic Republic is about liberation, like literally promotional and not in that kind of, I dare say, I don't even think these are bots. Remember when like the height of the uprising, there'd be like, the
standardized
the
comments
bots
and
that kind
things
of
like that.
come up and attack Pahlavi or Hamed or something like that. It's not, or Massi. This is like these are humans. These are people, some of whom I can only judge by their names, are not Iranian.
That's what I was going to ask,
They're not,
actually.
but a couple of them are. But like one guy whose avatar is Khamenei. Like just a picture of Khamenei. Another one whose avatar is the IRI flag, the Islamic Republic flag. But like a bunch of them, and like different messages, all of them basically saying, "You're wrong. The Islamic Republic is a great place. It's a great regime," and that's crazy to me because the fact that hadn't happened. It just hadn't happened. It's not like our viewership or listenership has skyrocketed in the last 2 weeks in disproportionate measure. I mean, our audience always grows, but I mean, for this not to happen for 4 years.
And then to happen now.
And to happen in numbers, a bunch of it happening now, suggests that this is related to what's happening in the world right now. And one of the, for better or for worse, not for better, for worse. For worse,
yeah.
One of the manifestation of what is going on in the world right now is some sort of growing support amongst what I can only think are misled, fucking people who, because unless these are actually Sepah people who are hopping on my Instagram, this is like the people who are writing this stuff actually believe. There's one that said, whatever you're saying, Israel makes the Islamic Republic look like heaven, like that kind of thing. It's like, is that what we're comparing here? Like what, leave aside how much you hate Israel or you hate Palestine or whatever. Can we all agree that the Islamic Republic of Iran and this regime is not our, nobody's friend?
Yeah.
So to see this stuff has been very alarming, Pegah. It's very, very eerie. Like, it's just like, wow, something's changing. And people have and just the fact that I don't think go back a year and a half to the uprising and Iranians around the world speaking out and speaking to non-Iranians and government, even though those governments weren't caving and going, okay, let's, the British government not putting the IRGC on the terrorist list, all of that. Yeah. At least there wasn't any oxygen. Like, nobody would be stupid enough to say something stupid enough like, no, you're wrong. The regime is actually great. It believes in liberation. Liberation of who?
Of who? Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about? Like, all of us have this is 45 years. It's not like there's an imprint, there's a footprint, right? I feel bad for Nooshafarin that I'm doing this right before, but I know she doesn't disagree. You know, I mean, this person's life and career was displaced by this stuff, so.
I think that the most terrifying part for me is that, for years, for 40 some odd years, let alone just the past 2, Iranians have been screaming at the top of their lungs to have people hear us and to hear about the atrocities committed at the hands of the Islamic Republic and to hear about, how horrific it is and how barbaric they are and all of these things. And I often see people now, because of what's going on in the world, misaligning themselves with certain ideologies that are completely false about the Islamic Republic. And I think that's the problem, is that
is the problem.
It's so much, and I hate to say it this way, but it's a lack of education. It's a lack of proper education about what the Islamic Republic really is.
Or just short-term memory. Yeah. Now the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I mean, whatever it is.
I hate that.
And listen, you don't, this has nothing to do with agreeing with me or disagreeing with me on how I feel about Palestine or how I feel about Israel. I got family on both sides of the issue. I mean, there's all, but I can't tolerate, I can't understand sentient people who would post something like, the fuck you part I can take. That's baked into social media. Say that to me, okay, fine. But then the Islamic Republic is, you're wrong. This is nonsense. This is bullshit. The Islamic Republic is about liberation. Long live the Ayatollah. Like, I mean, it's.
I can't even fathom someone putting these words together. Yeah. It makes my skin crawl to even think that someone would.
And you kind of look at them and then you find out they're sort of activists for, other causes. And so it's like I say, it's not just some bot or somebody paid off by that. I mean, maybe they're paid. I don't, but
you can never know.
They're clearly seeing they're clearly seeing this in some context that suddenly the Islamic Republic are now,
aligns
the good
with their
guys
cause,
because we hate America because it funds Israel. Like, it's like really kind of mixed. It's not logical. It's like, no, think whatever you want to think, take your position, scream your slogans, but don't pretend or don't be foolish enough to think that the Islamic Republic regime is. Anyway, I think I made my point. It's very, very, very disturbing.
Very, I agree.
Now let's get to our sponsor.
Yes. And now.
Yeah, so
leave it off on a light note.
Rook Live 2 next week. No, I mean, we like the.
No, but this is the reality of being Iranian and having these conversations. It really is, because I think we have to. On one hand, it's like, we talk about something like this and it's horrific and it's sad and I get angry about it. But on the other hand, yes, we can just switch from that to.
When Rook started, we, as part of our mission, we were like, we're not going to be a political show. There's enough of that out there. Let's, find, there's so much else to talk about the Iranian condition and culture and identity. And nor do I still don't want this to be a political show, but.
And it's time for me to go.
For that to
joking,
be our focus.
For sure.
But how are we supposed to, I mean, what are we, at some point, it's just kind of to see that stuff on our platforms and go, wow, this wasn't there
Definitely
two
a
months.
shift.
It wasn't there 6 months ago. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, it's there now, and it's there in numbers, and they're all supporting the Islamic Republic regime. Isn't that interesting? The worst dictatorship in the world, maybe. I mean, it's certainly up there. Well,
Yeah.
in the sweepstakes. the who's the greatest dictator sweepstakes. Pegah, Rook Live is coming up, and we've got the Icon Award.
I do.
Well, you know what else? Let me tell you something about that Icon Award. Our exclusive sponsor, Pegah,
Yes.
for the Rook Media Icon Award is Monrock, a sustainable development company to watch. A sustainable development company. Monrock is a forward-thinking development company specializing in advanced project delivery systems, prioritizing residents and their timeless peace and comfort and well-being in their mid-rise, high-rise, and affordable housing projects. So Monrock's commitment to sustainability and environment underscores every aspect of their designs, with Monrock buildings also serving as social anchors, fostering vibrant communities where residents can connect, thrive, grow together. Monrock buildings enjoy the digital twin technology, offering real-time monitoring of the building systems, which enhances user experience to levels not seen before. So sustainable development, new technology, environment. Monrock, sustainable development. Find them at monrock.com, MONTROK, monrock.com. All right, you ready for the feature guest today?
I am so ready.
All right, let's bring her into the Roqe Studio. My featured guest today is a legendary Iranian singer and actress now based in California and Canada, known for her contributions to Persian pop music. Take a listen to this. There you go, a little taste of Salam from 2002 and the album Haftarya, and that is the unmistakable voice of Nooshafarin. She was born and raised in Tehran. She began her career in cinema as a teenager, working alongside acclaimed actors such as Behruz Vosiqi and Nasser Malek Motii. Her true passion for singing led her to gain popularity as a pop singer, especially after being recognized for her talent on a popular TV show hosted by Fereydoun Foroughi. And as her star continued to rise, like many Iranian artists of that era, things came to a sudden halt with the Islamic Revolution of 1979. After a few years of staying in Iran and unable to get a divorce, Noushafarin ended up fleeing to India for a few years in 1985, and then finally to North America. Then in the United States, quite remarkably, she resuscitated her career, and by the late 1990s and early 2000s, had pop hits even bigger than she'd ever had before. The ultimate comeback story, you might say. She's still making music and art and has just released a beautiful new single called Azadeh. We will get to all of that, but first, the great Nooshafarin joins me in the Roqe Studio. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Well, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you to having me here.
You have that new song I want to get to. I want to get to the story behind it. I'm so grateful you're here. This is your first ever interview in English, yes?
Yeah, but I told you I'm not as good as you because I just learned it by, listening to people or watching movie, and hopefully you correct me if I did something
You
wrong.
want me to correct you?
Yes, please.
You don't mind people correcting you?
I don't mind.
You encourage it. You prefer it.
Yes.
Well, first of all, your English is great. And it is. I mean, it's always remarkable to me that, when somebody who speaks as well as you do hasn't done interviews in English, it's a testament to the fact that we don't have a lot of Persian media in English. And
Unfortunately.
that's why we wanted to start Rook, to really,
Yeah.
because there's a whole audience out there, including second and third generation Iranians
Yes.
that don't necessarily speak Persian and
Yeah.
can have access to you this way.
Very
But
good.
secondly, if at any point you want to go into some Persian to
Yeah.
explain something, that's fine. No
I do.
problem.
I do. Thank you.
If I may, in digging into your story with your blessing, I've wanted to address 3 very different chapters in your life so far. Chapter 1 would be your rise to stardom in cinema and music in pre-revolution Pahlavi Iran.
Yes.
Your return to pop hits I just spoke about in the introduction there while living in North America in the late 90s, early 2000s and till today. And then this dark and difficult period in between the two where you're in India and you're in limbo and before you come to the United States. Do those 3 chapters so far resonate? Does that make sense to you?
I started my career when I was 16,
Yes.
and I started in cinema.
Yes.
And 2 years I had an opportunity to work with all of our great actors and actresses. And then I was 18 when I started singing.
Yes.
You know, I become actress to make money than be a singer, you
Yes.
know. You had to have a money to buy lyrics or songs to introduce yourself.
Is that your phone?
Yeah, can I?
Sure. Do you need to take it?
No,
Oh,
I
you're
don't.
gonna turn it
but I
off.
want to turn it
That was
off.
quite a ring.
I'm so sorry.
I thought there was an angel in the studio.
Okay, let me turn it off. I have 2.
Oh, you carry 2 phones.
Yeah, one is for U.S., one is
Oh,
Canadian.
I thought one of them was for the special people. And
No, I don't. All people around me, they are special. Okay.
what about people not around you? Not as special.
They are special.
That's the correct answer. Let me stop
Okay.
you. I'm going to ask you questions about each period of your career. Don't worry, you don't have to explain it all.
Okay.
I was just giving an introduction as to where I want to go in the interview. Let me say that I find it fascinating because given your different career eras, you have completely different cohorts of fans too. Like there are people who know, even in preparation of this interview, telling people Nooshafarin is going to come on, you know. There are people who know you, I would say older folks, much older than you, who know you from pre-revolution Iran.
Yeah.
There was that little girl who was singing and who was cinema,
Yes.
and a teenager, etc. And the hits you had then. And then there's a completely different audience. Like there's people in their 30s and 40s who know the woman had these big pop hits in the early 2000s, songs like Salam that we just heard. So is it interesting to you that you have these different generations who know you from different eras of your career so far?
Of course, it's really good. I mean, it's really blessing.
And you also have such an interesting perspective on, I was thinking that there's almost no one like you. And I mean this because you were a star, or you were a rising star in pre-revolution Iran, Pahlavi Iran. But you were so young that you're still quite young now. I mean, most of the people who were stars, who were icons of that era, are a lot older than you now. So despite the fact that you're still relatively young, you have a perspective on that period, which I think is very valuable. You're quite unique in that sense.
Thank you, but I told you, you know, when revolution started, I was 22 years old. You know,
But you were already well known.
yeah, because when you start in your own country, it's so different. You know, you have lots of audience. They can choose you or other singers or actresses, you know. And I was so blessed. People liked me very much that time, and they liked my music. And especially people who was my age or older, and still they are remembering me. That's really nice.
Tell me about being a kid in say in the 1960s in Tehran. Was it always clear to you that you wanted to be a performer?
When I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a singer. I used to sing in classes, you know.
What did you sing?
Sing anything from Gugush, from Ramesh, from Homera, you know, from everyone, you know, I used to sing.
You knew you wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
And did people around you, would the other kids, would your parent, would everybody go, this person's a performer, we know she's going to be a star? Would they have recognized that, you think?
Yes, in classes, like my teachers, they liked my voice, and they always used to tell me, you're going to be a singer. But my dad, my dad always supported me. My mom didn't. They didn't like it. Me to go in in a cinema or
Entertainment.
entertainment.
Your dad was
business.
okay with it?
Yeah, my dad was.
خیلی عجیبه چون usually the father that's the one that doesn't want
You know, because my dad has a beautiful voice, and he always wanted to be a singer and actor, but because he had lots of children, he didn't have an opportunity to do that.
And what would your mom be saying
Mom,
when you're a kid and you're showing an interest in?
Mom was busy with the children. She didn't say anything.
But you said she doesn't want you to
She
go.
doesn't want it. You know, those time people, they don't, you know, they didn't like their, girl goes to entertainment
Right.
business, especially when you don't have anybody to support you.
Right.
It was hard. You know, it was hard.
Were you confident as a kid? Were you
Yes.
You were.
Yes.
I mean, you're very confident now.
Yes.
I mean, all through your career, you've had a sense of, one gets a sense that you know who you are.
Yes.
And that you're saying that was true even when you were a little
Yes.
girl.
Yes.
Did you have a lot of friends?
I had lots of friends. I wasn't that confident when I was young, but you know, after revolution, when you move to other places, or you live with some people, it makes you tough. You know, I was in India. You know what is India. You know, it's not like Iran or like Canada. You have to touch earth. You have to live like them. You know, it's makes me
That
tough.
toughened you.
Yeah.
But as a kid, the reason, part of where I'm going with it is, I hear that. So you famously, as a teenager, you end up acting with Behrouz Foroughi. You have to end up in all these films. You did like 11 films, and you're still a teenager. And the story I heard, you tell me if it's true, is that you saw an ad in the paper where they needed an actress.
Yes.
And you went there, and you're just in your schoolgirl outfit.
Yes.
And there's all these like girls all dolled
with
up.
the uniform.
You were in a
went-
school uniform. I mean, even before I get to them choosing you at that point, that takes a fair bit of confidence for a girl to. پررو بودی دیگه. I'm asking McGee.
No, confidence. You know, when you want to do, I'm like that. When I want to do something, I have to do it. I have to do it.
So how old were you then when you saw this ad? in the-
16, and they
16.
needed 18 to 22, and I went with my friend. You know, with the school uniform and my books, and
had you done any acting?
no, I was.
So
I was
you یعنی خیلی پررو بودی که
خیلی، آره.
فکر کنی.
Yeah.
So you go there, and what
But I
happened?
did it.
Tell me what happened in that.
And I was, you know, it was Pars, I believe. I don't remember the name of the studio. There was like a Mr. Mirlohi and lots of big people there. And Puri Banoi was there. And when I saw, there was lots of girls there. When I saw Puri Banoi, I went to Puri Banoi because, she was my idol.
Wow.
I adored her.
What was she doing there?
She was there with the other, seeing the people,
Okay.
or I don't know why.
Okay.
But I went to her and
She
I
wasn't
said,
also auditioning.
No,
she was.
Puri
she was a
Banoi
star.
was the
Okay,
star.
yes, yeah.
And then I told Puri Banoi, can I have your picture, please? I forgot about everything, you know. But when I reached to Puri Banai, the cameraman or the director saw me and they told me, bring your picture for us.
Wow.
And then I was
And what do you think they saw in this young
very,
woman?
I don't know.
You must
I don't know.
know.
Maybe they liked me because I was so simple, without any makeup, long hair, and I don't know. Maybe they wanted.
Was that your thing? You didn't wear a lot of makeup, and you were very natural that way.
Yeah, I'm always like that. I hate makeup.
You do?
Yes.
Why do you hate makeup?
I don't know. I don't like it. I'm now in an age I really need makeup, but
That's not true.
I'm always sport and without makeup.
I know you're a runner. You're famously
Yes, I was.
you were. You don't do the running anymore. You were
Because-
running every day for a while.
Yeah, I had a back surgery, not because of running, and it's stopped me. But I walk. I love walking. I go every day for long walk.
So back to this. So that they say, "Hey, come over here," and then they get you to read some lines, or what?
No, they said, okay, go and bring your picture. And I went and I did. I took a picture and brought it for them. And they said, they asked me for audition, which I did it. And you won't believe, we saw the audition.
Do you remember what it was? The audition. Do you remember what you had to do?
I had to act. I don't remember now because it's a long ago. And we saw it in his studio, and he said, yeah, you have a bright future. And
Wow.
then everything starts from.
And you were Fatemeh at the time.
Yeah,
You weren't Noushafarin yet.
No, and director changed my name to Noushafarin.
At that point, right? Was
Yes.
it the first film where you
Yeah,
become?
first film. Yeah.
And this is amazing. Tell the story. So there's an actress named Alfarin, right?
Nusha. Now it was Afarin was one of the best actress in Iran. She got married and she left the cinema. And they saw me and they said, "Oh my God, she looks like Afarin," and that's why they told me you have to have a Noushafarin.
Now, that's a great name because that's you. But at the
Yes.
time, did you accept that right away?
I
And what
hate it
You hated it.
because it was long.
Uh-huh.
Noushafarin. But after I got used to it.
And what did your parents say? Like that you're suddenly
Nothing, no.
They didn't say anything?
But they call me Noushin or Fatemeh at home.
When did Noushafarin start to feel okay for you? When
I become a singer.
So you do these films. You become well known in these films. And by the way, I mean you were a lot is made of how you in some of these films you were nude in some of the films. You were
The first one.
They were provocative, yeah. But to me, what's interesting about that is what that says about the era in Iran, that it was I'm very open and I mean,
Yes.
how would you, to someone who wasn't there, describe 1970s Iran culturally? Beyond the political, what was the? It just seems like such a. I often say I have this conversation with musicians who, when Chapal Chapare was here last month, about how fertile that time must have seemed. That anything is possible. That all this arts and creativity and culture is exploding. Tell me about it from your perspective.
I born in a country. Everything was free. Before me, even they had a nude. You call it nude?
Nude, sure, yeah.
Yeah, nude picture scenes. When you are in a bathroom, you are washing yourself. You are not doing with the dress.
Right.
But unfortunately, I was in Mahan Kerman, and they were shooting in a, those hammam, those big hammam which all women goes in, and I was washing myself, and there was like a guy, Asghar Bichare. Bichare is his last name.
Oh,
yeah, and he was used to take a picture of the movies scenes, okay, and without any what you call it, که بپرسه از من,
Consent or asking,
yeah,
yeah.
asking. They took lots of pictures. When I become singer, I become very famous.
Yes.
And then
those photos suddenly become famous. To this day.
Yes.
To this day, if we Google your name,
yeah,
we see these photos.
Yes.
Does that
And
bother
that
you?
was, it was bothering me from beginning, but after that it was okay for me. You know, there was a picture. What should I do? I should kill myself. I mean, it is. You know.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been that big a deal.
No,
if
in
Iran
that time.
didn't change. I mean, I feel like it's because of what's happened in the last 45 years that
it's a big thing.
Yes, it makes that a much bigger deal. Otherwise, there's a million. I mean, Meryl Streep has done nude scenes. It's not a
everybody.
It's
even
not
same time in US or in Europe, they did even worse than that, you know. Right. But we were compared to, our cinema was compared to their cinema. We used to watch all American series, American movies in Iran. You know, we lived in a future. When you go back, it's like a future, not, you know.
Yeah. It was a progressive place. There were things happening that weren't even happening in the West to a certain extent. That's that fertility I'm talking about, that cultural explosion. It's interesting what you said a few moments ago, or at the beginning of the interview, where you said that acting was a job. It felt like work, but not singing. So even when you start to become famous, you start to act in all these films. Your desire was still to be a singer.
After when I become singer, they asked me to act in few films. Like if 3 was, they showed it in cinema, but 1 is because of revolution we couldn't. Still in what you call it, it's stopped there. I mean, but then after that they used me because they wanted to make money, because I was lucky to be so popular in Iran as a young singer.
I see. So you became more valuable as an actress because of your singing.
Yes.
How did you? Famously, the story is that Fereydoun Foroughi has a big role in making you, getting people to know who you are as a singer. How did you first encounter him? How do you meet him?
I had a songwriter, Fereydoun Foroughi, which signed a contract with me for 5 years. It's a story, if I have a time to tell you.
Go ahead.
You know, in Iran we had like few educated people in music, and they had to send the lyrics to them, and they read it, and they give you a permission to use it. که رادیو پخش کنه,
to distribute it, to put it out. Yeah.
And
what were they looking for to give you permission? What does that mean?
Because it has to be.
I mean, I know afterwards the Islamic Republic needs looks at these things, but what did they do at the time before that?
Because they wanted to publish the good lyrics.
I see.
Good music.
So it was like a quality control.
Exactly. Exactly, it was like that.
Okay.
Even my first song, I had to sing it 4 times. You know, they used to reject it till I sing it properly, and then they publish it through radio, and then TV gonna call you and let you to be in show. And Fereydoun Foroughi introduced me to Fereydoun Foroughi, and Fereydoun Foroughi liked me so much and wanted to be me to start in his show for the first time.
Do you remember the first time you met him?
Oh, yes.
That introduction? What was he like? I mean, he's such a almost to me a mythical character. He's so incredible with what in retrospect what I've heard about him. I never got the chance to meet him, obviously. What was it?
You know, it was TV was a big building. They had to give them a list. You had to go to the makeup room. It was so big. And you have a show, you have to go to Fereydoun Foroughi's show. Fereydoun came to makeup room and saw me and introduced himself to me and said, "You are in my show." And he used to give you the what you say, energy, and we start from them. There,
I want to play a little bit of a one of your famous songs from exactly that period called Qeble.
Oh.
Let's just play a little taste of that.
Oh my
A little taste of a hit from the 1970s, late 70s. Qeble, that's Noushafarin, as still a teenager at that point.
Yes.
When you hear that song,
well, yeah, it gives me goosebumps.
It gives you goosebumps.
You know why? Because these songs are live. They used to record it live. You know, it's not like now everything is on computer. You know. It was good. It was really good.
You mean there wasn't a lot of editing? You're singing and it's one take. You have to go and do this, and
not
probably
one take.
Not one take.
First they used to record the music,
right.
And then after that you go and sing on the music. You could stop and they play it again, and you know it was.
But you're not doing a million edits the way people now sing one word and then they put it in the computer and the rest of the song is done.
Different.
And do you appreciate young Noushafarin singing there? Do you like her?
Yes, very much. You know, I believe my voice was so unique compared to other singers. That's why people notice me. You know, I was so different. You know, those time everybody wanted to copy other singers, but I didn't. It was me. It was Noushafarin, with Noushafarin face, with Noushafarin music, you know.
You are very unique. There's videos of that period. No, it's true. I mean, there's nobody like you. Mind you, there also weren't, I mean, I don't know how many famous female Iranian singers there were at the time.
Lots.
There were lots?
You know, the female singers were very important that time. You know, we had to have a concert or cabaret Bakara. If you see the poster now, there are 3 female singers and 1 male. It was like that. You know, after revolution, everything has been changed.
Do you
in an ugly way?
Yeah, well, and we'll get to that. Do you that period? Were you aware? I mean, you're so young at that point, and all of this is happening. You're in these movies. You've got these hit songs. You're buddies with Fereydoun Foroughi. Did you even understand what was going on with you? Or was it all a whirlwind? Did you realize you were becoming a star?
In that period, yes. You know, because you know when you are in your country, the magazines gonna call you when you are famous. You know, you feel it when all magazines are calling you. They're gonna take a picture of you. They put it on the cover, and you know, in that short time of period of my singing, you won't believe how many picture of me was on cover of magazines, all magazines, and then poster I had.
And did you like it?
I loved it.
It was a positive time for you.
Yeah, because you know, when they put, it's not like here you have to pay the magazines. They put picture of you on the magazine to say, I have a
in the Iranian
CD.
community. You don't do that in the English, but
in Iran, I'm talking about our Iranian markets. But there, they want to sell their magazines.
Yes.
That's why they choose you to put your picture on a magazine. Yes.
What did your by that period where these songs are becoming big hits and you're on the cover of magazines, was your mom won over to it at that point? Was she
Yes.
not? She was more positive about
Yes,
the career.
yes.
I see. And you end up meeting and marrying the famous Iranian actor, of course, Saeed Iran. And there's so much turbulence in that relationship, clearly, that happens later. You end up divorcing finally years later. Was it good in the beginning with him, exciting even, this star actor and this star singer? Can you look back at the early period and go, that was great, or was there always something wrong with that relationship?
You know, when I become in love with Saeed Iran, I was 18 years old. You know, I was 19, okay? I got married when I was 22 years old. And from beginning, we had our argument, difficulty, everything. But when I got married, the revolution was serious and Shah was gone, and they used to call us in Evin jail to ask us lots of questions, and we had to sign lots of paper.
When do you get married? Exactly when do you get married?
I was.
Do you remember?
22 years
No,
old.
what the date? What was it?
Exactly, beginning of, not the starting of revolution. The Khomeini came and everything.
Like 79?
79. And
so that's a lot going on for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because I can only imagine, so do you think, that probably didn't help the relationship either, right? That both of you, your careers are getting derailed.
Yes.
And you're this young woman who's suddenly in a marriage, and tell me about what happens when the revolution happens for you.
Revolution, actually, when I got married, I thought, okay, I got married, I have to stay home because I can't do anything, you know. They ask me, you have to sit at home. Even you cannot go out. If people notice you, we're going to catch you. You know, it was like that.
This is the new authorities, the Islamic, the Pahlavi, whatever.
Yeah. But you know, in few years, I was, what you say, coping with that. Am I right? Coping.
Yeah, that's. You could say that.
Yeah, but after that, then.
How are you coping with that? Sorry, you go from being this. The world is your oyster. You're an actress. You're a singer.
What you do when you are in a jail, suppose.
Did you feel like your career was over?
My career was over because the woman.
But did you feel like it was for good?
Gone. Yeah, it's because.
You're only in your 20s still, and you think now this is done.
Yeah, this is done, and then war starts. When war starts. You know, we were all Iranian people was, imagining what's going on, what's going on in our country, you know. But our relationship, it's become worse and worse and worse. And I wanted to get divorced, but I couldn't because I didn't have any right. I went to the court lots of time. They used to tell me, you have to go to your father home and sit there for 4 years. After 4 years, you have to come and we're going to decide you can get divorced or not. Then I planned to run away. And I ran to India.
Well, hang on a second. That's 5 years later, or 6 years later,
7.
right? 7 years later.
7.
And by the mid 1980s. It's such a messed up time. There's no way. There's no way to look at the Islamic Revolution, as I've learned over the years, and especially in the last 4 years doing interviews about it, that it is such a messed up time. But I think about you. You're not just a young woman who had this career that gets derailed. You're recognizable. People recognize you, right? Mm-hmm. That must be strange. So suddenly, people see you and they know you're Nooshafarin, but you can't sing anymore. You can't act anymore. Mm-hmm. And how do you emotionally cope with that?
You know, I was so busy emotionally with my husband. You know, my life was so bad, so tough. I forgot about my career. I just wanted to be alone and be free. Honestly, I'm telling you the truth. And that time, even I couldn't get the passport. It took 2 years for me to get a passport. But fortunately, when I came through the airport and go to India, they didn't have any problem. You know, that was shocking for me.
So wait a minute. You first of all, your husband doesn't obviously did not want to give you a divorce, right? He didn't
He
agree
didn't
to.
know I'm going.
No, but in terms of the divorce, he wouldn't agree.
No,
to.
I didn't get the divorce. I just ran away.
But in the first years when you said you couldn't get a divorce because he wouldn't agree to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he wanted to stay together.
Yes.
And you said something about they would call you to Evin and warn you?
That was the beginning of
The revolution?
The time I was in Evin, it was me, Puri Banoi, Gugush, Nasser Malakmoti, and 2 other.
Together?
Yeah, we were together in a room, big room, with 3 mullahs, and they used to ask us, you know, in a paper, like a kids, and then we had to think about it and write it and give it to them. We were there from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m.
You're sitting with Gugush and others, and
Yeah.
what are they asking you? What are they telling you to put on the paper?
Stupid things. You know, how many times you were singing front of Shahs or their people, you know, and these things. And at the end, they wanted to know from me how much Gugush has money. For sure, they asked her about my financial situation. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was
But
really
scary too, right?
Yeah, scary because, you know,
People were being executed. I mean,
yeah, what did we do? We were an entertainer. We didn't kill anybody. It was stupid, but it was. And it passed.
when do you said you wanted to flee many times. What was when you finally decide that I'm going to go to the airport and try and make this happen? What was going on that time that you?
I managed to. I was working hard to my husband to give me a right to have a passport. It was like that. Your husband has to let you to have
An
a
Iranian
passport.
passport.
Yes, yes. You know, we couldn't get the visa for other countries, you know, those times.
Yeah.
And I get my visa for India, and then I got my ticket, and I got.
And I imagine
gone.
you were saying, I'm just going to go on holiday, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
So, and I used to tell my husband I'm going to my cousin place because they have a wedding. They always lie.
And what was that like, going to India?
It was good because it was my dream to have a room. When I wake up, it's only me, nobody else. But it took only 7 or 8 months. Then he found me with his children. By the way, I don't have any children. I raised his children for 17 years. 7 years in Iran, and after that, when he came with his children, because I used to love them, and they were like my kids. And then again, we become family.
Where were you in India?
Pune.
Pune.
Yeah. Have you been in Pune?
No, but I know it's. We've had a few people on the show who live there. Actually, it's a place where a
Yes.
lot of Iranians seem
Yes.
to go.
Yeah, it was like a city of university. You know, all students were there, and actually, I had a very good time with the people, with all Iranian students there. It was good, and we were there for 5 years, and he came to Canada. And I came with his children to Canada, and I got my divorce here.
When you decide to leave India, I'm curious about at what point because I love the story that you not only come back as a singer, but you come back bigger, you know, in terms of the hits that you end up having, you know, in the early 2000s. starting in 1997 with Nazanin, and they're huge. I mean, and so when do you start thinking, you know what, that's possible for me again? Did you have those thoughts in India, or was that not until you came to Canada and the U.S.?
Actually, when I went to India, I really wanted to go to movies and work with them, but I didn't have a chance to do that, And when Saeed came to Canada, and his children was with me, and I thought I have to take them to their father. I cannot just leave them and go wherever I want to do. It's not me, it's not my character, okay? And we came here. And because I received lots of phone call from Los Angeles, and the people who live in Los Angeles in entertainment business, they know me.
Of course.
They know who's Nooshafarin.
Yes.
And they called me, they said, yeah, you have to start. But I wanted to get divorced and go. I wanted to...
You didn't feel like you could do this until you were divorced?
No, I had to get my divorce. And I did it. And then I went to US and start my career again.
By the late 90s, early 2000s, you put out a few albums, some massive hit songs. One of them is Salam that we played off the top. I just mentioned Nazanin.
But I didn't sing only Salam.
No, I know. We're going to play some other songs too.
I have lots of good songs.
Did all of these songs that become famous, did it feel like, you tell me if this is the wrong word, did it feel like revenge? Like, no?
First of all, I'm not the person who wants to get the revenge. Okay, I just closed that chapter of my life, and I went to US and start my new life. I think like that. Okay, I don't think about the past. Past is past. Okay, but we have to learn from past. Okay, when I went to Los Angeles, I was shocked. First of all, because everything was so different from Iran, In Iran, you have a songwriter, they ask you to come, you go, and if you like the song, you sing it, and everything is there, TV, radio. But in Los Angeles, where is the TVs? You ask yourself how you can produce these songs, if you wanted to make money, you must be a band. You are not a singer, because the shows only the weddings and bar mitzvah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The opportunities were a lot different from 1970s Iran.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to do concert, you have to be friends with that TV, this TV. You need a connection. And because I was late, Shohre, Leila was my colleagues we start in a year together in Iran. But Shohre was the first singer, went to Los Angeles and LA. And then after that, Leila Foroughi.
Yes.
And when I went to Los Angeles, everything was changed. They were settled, and I was the new one. And I had to, what you call it, bejangi bahashun,
to battle your way to the...
to every... But I didn't want to...
Who were you battling against?
To people who had those TVs and magazine...
The Persian LA TV thing.
Those, which I couldn't absorb it. I couldn't. I went to, everybody's in Los Angeles, in Ventura Boulevard, if you are familiar to those areas.
Yes, I am.
I said, okay, no, this is not me. I have to go to Orange County. I went to Orange County and used to live there. But whenever I had like a record something, I used to go to LA County and do my things.
There's so much, I have to stop you because there's so many things you've said that I want to ask you about. Where do I want to start? First of all, when you say, I don't look at the past, I only look, is that to say that, no one would blame you if you were very bitter about what happens with the Islamic Revolution and your career.
Mhm.
Are you saying you're not bitter about that?
Of course I am.
You are.
But what should I do? What should we do?
Well, that's a good point. But I mean, when you say I don't look at the past,
It's
I
not
mean,
it's me only. You know, when I cannot change the Los Angeles things, how can I change the revolution? You know, I had, you know,
Right.
you know, when I went to Los Angeles, I had $300 in my pocket, and I had few friends from India.
That's so interesting because these LA folks, some of the producers, some of the, writers, they would know who you are.
Yeah.
You could, surely doors would open for you, right?
No, because they want to take advantage. And I don't want to say names because still I know them. I say hi. They respect me a lot. You won't believe they respect me a lot because they know I cannot be their puppet, you know. And that's why I had less concerts, you know. I never gone to weddings because my songs are not for wedding. I like to sing a good songs, you know. And
but if some folks have to sing at weddings to make money, I mean, what you don't
I
blame them
couldn't.
for that.
I
It's just-
couldn't. It's not me. I really like to do concerts. You won't believe I produce Salam. It was mega hit.
Yes.
Still, it's a mega hit.
Yes.
And one year I sat at home and never had any concert. You know, it's all connection.
Huh.
You know, it's all connection. And I don't like those connections.
So who were you making these albums with? I mean, who was just
Sheket Tarane. I start with,
who you still have an association with?
yes.
Yeah.
My first album, دختر شاه پریان,
Yeah.
was for, there was a company, I don't remember the name, belonged to Mr. Masood.
Sorry, your first album after in this
After
new,
revolution.
the U.S. version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Ahmed Masood, who had a cabaret Tehran in Los Angeles, he came to me, he said, you give me your album, your first album, I'm going to buy it from you. And I'm going to get the green card for you. And he did it, actually. He get me a green card and I gave him my album and he bought it from me. And I start. But after that, I start working with Sheket Tarane, and still I'm working with Sheket Tarane, Mr. Wharton.
And when you said a few moments ago, you said, Salam's not the only song I have.
Yeah, because
but
Salam and Ashti, they, you know,
I was
in a
going to say, I was about to
Farsi,
play Ashti.
in a Farsi,
Should we not play it?
please, play Gol Surkh, play Zange Dar,
Well, hang on.
play
But
Sarab. These are the songs.
you don't. What do you not like Salam, or is it just
No,
that
no,
it's
no.
you don't want to be identified with just one song?
Yes, I don't like it. You won't believe when I was making Haft Darya, the Salam was the last song. I said, I just put it. I don't like it.
But you know, let me tell you, we very sadly lost the great Faramaz Aslani.
Oh yes.
And I'm sure you obviously must have known him quite well,
Yeah.
And you know, when I once asked him about Age Yeruz, and I said, you know, are you sick of this song? This, you know, you're so much more than just this song, as great as the song is. And it was very interesting because he said, no, I love that song actually because I owe everything I have to that song opening doors for me. You know, that kept my career going.
Because it was
So, I mean,
his first. Salam is not my first song. Gol Aftab Gardun is my
Fair
first
enough.
song.
Yes.
You know, like I have lots of good songs from Iran, you know, which is hit. It was a
Yes.
hit in
Yes.
Iran. You know, Faramaz he had only that song, you know, but I have lots of songs, you know, lots of great songs. like Bechun Bechun, like Reble, like lots of good songs.
You know, when there's an interesting through line that's emerging about you, as I think about, you know, when you say, you're basically saying, I didn't want to play the Los Angeles game. I'm not going to do that.
No,
Connections and all things. This is you. You from if we trace it back to your parents, and you saying, love you, but I'm going to do my own thing no matter what you guys say.
Yes.
And then I don't want to be under the control of my husband. I don't want to be under the control of my Islamic Republic. I don't want to be under the control. You're a truly independent person who doesn't want to have to answer to anybody.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's
But
a tough thing to do in the music business.
Exactly. But
Right?
people has to know this. People have to notice these. People must support singers like me, you know.
Yeah. I guess you would say that you've probably lost opportunities because you've wanted to do things, you haven't wanted to do things the way you've been told to, or play the connections game and all of that.
Yeah.
You would have had a different career.
Yeah. But I like it. It's me. I cannot change it, especially in this age. I'm 80 years old.
You're not 80 years old. Not that there's anything wrong with being 80 years old, but you're not 80
No,
years old.
but I think like 80 years old with this old problem which I passed, you know.
No, you don't actually. That doesn't sound. You just think like you sound like someone who's very, very determined to do what you believe is right.
Yes.
I mean, if I, you know, if somebody said, you know, start playing the weddings and doing all of those connections and be nice to the Persian TV person and they'll put you on and all of that, and we'll give you $10 million, would it be worth it to you?
Nobody offered me $10 million.
That's not the question. That's not the question.
Why? You're asking me this
Well,
question.
but is there a price on it? I mean, if some, I mean,
You know,
where at what point do you say, okay, I'll do what, I'll go and sing the shisha hash thing at the wedding, and you
Can
know.
I explain something?
Please.
You know, when we were in Iran, the wedding thing, I mean, people, they used to do weddings. They used to invite us. Like, I remember we were in a wedding, me, Hayede, and few singers. We used to sing only 15 minutes because, you know, they wanted us to be in their wedding picture, you know, but we weren't band because they had a band. Band play everything you ask.
Yes.
When we moved to Los Angeles, we had to play whatever they ask. And I'm not that person. I'm not saying this is wrong.
No.
I'm not saying that.
And
I love people who do weddings and other things because they make our music to be alive, you know.
but it's
We
also
owe them to them. We owe
Noushafarin
this
John, it's
to
also a product of the paucity, the poor nature of the Iranian music business, right? I mean, this has occurred to me lots of times where your position on this is actually very consistent with a lot of Western artists. Coldplay is not going to go and play well, I'm sure Adele doesn't sing at weddings, you know.
Okay.
But they have other opportunities
Yes.
that Persian singers don't have.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm not
people
saying
have to
that's
put
bad.
bread on the table, right?
I'm
So,
not
yeah.
saying, yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that bad. Lots of Persian singers, they do that.
You just
but
can't do it.
It's not me.
Yeah,
I
got
told
you.
you.
I got you.
It's not me when I sing. Somebody tell me, okay, can you play Arabic? Because somebody wants to dance Arab. I can't.
Right.
I can't.
Right.
It's my
What
mistake.
about Baba
maybe.
Kara? Will you do that?
Some people comes to us and ask for other singers' songs. This is like a fosh.
You're not a cover artist, yeah.
It's like
It's like a fush. It's that bad.
yeah.
yeah.
You know, when you are known as a Felankas
And you have a number of albums.
album,
Yeah.
and they ask you, can you sing that Arif is my jigar. I love him.
Yeah.
Okay, for
Aref,
example,
by the way, full circle, Aref sang at my parents' wedding
see,
many years ago in
many
Iran.
years ago, yeah. Anyway, I'm just telling you the truth.
I appreciate it. I appreciate how I mean, you live right now somewhere between Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
You kind of go back and forth.
Yes.
But where you live in Canada, I don't even know if I should say exactly where but it's a small town. You don't live in Toronto. You
No.
live in this small, and when I asked you a few days ago, I said, why are you in that place? Because
It's a really nice place.
well, but
You're talking.
you don't like, no. It's a beautiful place, but
Yeah.
it's not a major city.
I hate major.
You hate major cities. This
Yeah.
is so interesting to me.
I'm not a
the girl
city
who grew
life.
up in Tehran
So
and was a big movie
That
star
was-
and pop star, etc.
because that time I was like 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
When you are young, you like happening places, but when you're older, I love to be with the trees and oceans, lakes, and less people.
You do you? I was going to say, do you like people? I mean, I know
I
know
love people.
You love people, but do you? It seems like you like to not be around people as well.
Exactly. all singers are like that. They don't like because we have a business with lots of people. When you go on stage, you have to deal with lots of people, But when you're
Your private
you
time.
want to have your private time,
What do you most want to do now? Now that
Now.
you've passed the divorce and all of the things that you had to, you're not in Iran. You've kind of jumped over all these obstacles in your life. What version of Noushafarin do you want to be now?
Now, I want to be at home watching my favorite TV shows and nice movies. You won't believe, I like to jog or walking, but I love it to be alone. I don't like to be with somebody. It's.
I was going to propose we jog together, but I guess
please.
that's not possible.
No. Because when I jog or walk, I think a lot. I want to be myself.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah.
And but I'm planning to do concerts here in Toronto. You are invited right now.
That's amazing.
You too.
Right.
And then in Montreal here and Calgary and Vancouver. And I love to go to Europe. We are planning to do that and come back home. Yeah. Even when I stay 4 days at home, it's not bothering me at all. I don't get bored.
Would you still do acting?
No, nothing is.
It's not interesting to you.
No, I interest, but there is no movie.
You'd have to start wearing makeup too.
Oh God, yeah.
Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
You have this beautiful new song. I really love this new song of yours, Azadeh.
Oh.
And we're going to play it at the end of the. This isn't like Salam. You like this song,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Okay.
Yes,
You
it
know,
is.
well,
It is nice.
before we get there, because it's kind of a tribute to women.
Yes.
This song, and the video certainly is very powerfully so.
Yes.
Everybody from Haideh to Shaponu, everybody
Yes,
is in this video.
Yeah.
Great Iranian women. You're not happy. You told me that's one of the things that you wanted to talk about today was, before we end off, is the plight of women in Iranian music. And you said a few moments ago that back to the 1970s, there were a lot of female singers. There was a lot of opportunities for women in Iranian music. And that obviously wasn't the case immediately after the revolution, but you've said it still hasn't changed in terms of Iranians outside of Iran even not giving opportunities to women. Talk to us about that.
People, it's not people's fault, because we have a little audience. They don't have a choice, they just want to go and have fun, You know what I mean.
Yes.
It's promoters' fault. It's male singers' fault. They accepted to be in a concert together, but they are not thinking why all of us men at least take one woman between us. They don't care. They just want to make money. And promoter, they don't care. They just want to make money. We female singers are not that much. And the entertainment businesses, maybe it's so hard that the young generation doesn't like to come in this business, or whoever came, they couldn't make it big, and all men, and it's so ugly. It's really ugly. Even you see the Afghanistan, they have gathering all over the world. You see they have a female singer. It's just us. It's just Iran. I don't know.
But so when you say it's about money, it seems to me a promoter that is putting a few singers
they don't care.
But wouldn't they make money with you on the stage as well? So why are they?
When you ask them, they said women are, hard to make business with them. Why? How you make business with men? Maybe they are together, they make fun, or they don't go to hotel. They are men. They can go to promoter house and sleep there. Women are different. But I'm asking people, please support female singers.
Yeah.
Then you can change it. People can change it. They can. They have to support female singers, and the market going to be changed.
Yeah.
They have to.
That's very powerfully said. Have you talked to some of your male Persian star contemporaries about this?
No. We have a problem. We have lots of ego. When I call some singer in Iran, I had a good relationship. When I call him now, he doesn't answer the phone. Somebody else pick up the phone. That's bad. We have to be close to each other. They don't care. They just want to make money. They don't care about other people. Do you know Helen? Singer.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
She has a great voice, beautiful voice. She's a musician too. Is it nice when they put concert for her more than what I should say other male singers?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
And the irony is, or the interesting thing is, in Western music right now, like if you watch I don't know if it was the Grammy Awards or something, they're all female. All the biggest stars are all female now.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, Beyonce, whoever.
Yes.
So it's
bad. It's really bad. And the female singers cannot sing in Iran.
Yes.
Okay. And we have like a million male singer, because whoever wants to be a singer, it's easy. Computer, you sing, they correct your voice, and you become a singer.
Right.
And this is bad. I think our music is going, every year it's going down and down and down. And it's people has to do something. People,
How were you affected by as we segue into Azadeh, this song, how were you affected by the Women Life Freedom uprising, seeing those young women in Iran on the front lines of wanting to create change, along with young men supporting them as well? But
all was women.
Talk to me about that.
I thought the revolution is starting and everything is going to be changed. Unfortunately, they stopped politically. Something happened behind, we don't know. but it was good. You know, it was
Well,
good.
we know that they were. A lot of
Yes.
people were crushed and put into prison, and
Yes. Yes.
and executed. So we know
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, during that revolutionary things,
Yes.
Pasha Afshar, Lila Kasra's son,
Yes.
called me. I was in Canada. Called me and he
Lila
said,
Kasra being a
very famous
poet, lyricist.
yeah.
Yes.
And I used to sing his lyrics in Iran.
Her lyrics. Yeah.
Lots of my songs belong to her, and that's why her song called me and asked me. My mom wrote lyrics, and it's belong to today, and it's only you. You have to sing it. And I accepted, and I went to Los Angeles. And but
How long ago did she write the song?
36 years
Wow.
ago. Remember
Yeah.
when you hear it, it's like
It is so relevant.
She's
Yeah.
done it yesterday. You know,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And Fereydoun Foroughi, I introduced Fereydoun Foroughi to Pasha, and he make everything beautiful, and we did it, and it's beautiful. And
It
I
is
asked,
beautiful. We're
yeah,
going
and
to play it. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked Koji, please use all the women in this video. I want to dedicate it to
Who did you
women.
ask?
Koji.
Who's Koji? Tell us about Koji.
Koji is the video director.
That's is his name, just Koji?
Koji, yes.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. We have lots of video from him. Everybody, actually.
I'm really appreciate the chance to talk to you, and I
Thank you
really
so
like
much.
your
Me
candor.
too.
You're so open. You're so real.
Thank you.
Are you, in terms of the future of Iran, the country of both of our heritage, the country that you had to flee eventually, are you optimistic? Do you feel like change is going to come soon to Iran?
No, I'm sorry I'm saying that, but no. I mean, خراب چی میشه? They want to خراب. Ruined all the Middle East, and they did it. No, I'm not thinking about that, unfortunately. But I have a concert coming soon. I want now ask people to support me.
As they should. Where and you said you're going to do a gig in Toronto, right?
Toronto. Later on, we're gonna.
I hope you do a world tour.
I'm doing
Why don't we
it.
do the Nooshafarin world tour?
Wow.
Seriously, come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
Thanks.
having me. It's a pleasure.
The great Nooshafarin, merci.
Thank you.
And her latest single just came out, the song Azadeh on Rook.
جهانگوی سراسر تیرگی بود و بر هستی حجاب نیستی پوشانده میشد و خورشید فضیلت رنگ میباخت و زن در قعر گور نامرادی چو شمعی پر شرر میسوخت و میمرد جهان رنگ صفایا حقیقت روی دلها نور پاشی نبودنها ببودنها گرایید نبودنها ببودنها گرایید
the latest release from Nooshafarin, Azadeh. This is full time for Rook for today. For all things Rook related, go to our website, rookmedia.com. Thanks to the amazing team who put this show together. Super Parisa, Smart Pegah, Savvy Rohan, Bearded Omid, Talented Anahita, Methodical Kabe. Thanks to all of you out there for supporting us and sharing our content. Do subscribe if you haven't done so already. Find me on Instagram at Jian Gomeshi. See you at Rook Live, either in person or when we put out the show next week. In the meantime, Mizun Bashin.
جهان رنگ صفایا حقیقت روی دلها نور پاشی نبودن ها ببودن ها گرایی نبودن ها ببودن ها گرایی زن آزاد اکنون آیت لطف خدایی و بی او آیا میتوان زیست و بی او آیا میتوان زیست جهان رنگ صفایا حقیقت روی دلها نور پاشی نبودن ها ببودن ها گرایی جهان رنگ صفایا حقیقت روی دلها نور پاشی نبودن ها ببودن ها گرایی نبودن ها ببودن ها گرایی نبودن ها